Yeah. Yeah. I need a haircut. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Title of this video is based on a slowdown. Try to make my videos a little bit better and not be so long. Um, as you may or may not know, I am appalled at the VA cutting back caregivers and the caregiver program, removing it from vets. So I have done research on this, and I have trying to get down to the bottom of it. I will share as much information as I can with you. I believe it's vital for us to share information because it's so difficult to get information from the VA. It's so difficult to get the right answers. You even call lawyers. And I want to bring out some of the violations that the Veterans Administration actually has done to remove caregivers from this program and ultimately put the lives of many thousands of vets in jeopardy. I don't think it's too much for me to say that if you cut back a veteran's caregiver, his quality of life is going to suffer, to include death. It will include drastic medical problems, psychiatric problems. Um, it's already starting to show up in some of the records. But anyway, I wanted to go over today what I found out, and I talked to a couple of lawyers to to kind of get my train of thought. Now, if you have had your uh, caregiver benefits cut, and this is the ones that I want to direct it to, if you already had them cut, and you know as well as I do, it doesn't matter how many years you've been on this program. The current total that we have right now is 84 to 95% of the people on the VA caregiver program have been cut. We don't know why. So how did this and why did this happen? Well, there's many reasons, I guess, but I'm going to go over what they did in doing so and how they accomplished this on a blanket form as this. As everybody knows, I'm going to look this up real quick because I don't want to give any information. There's a VA form 3288, and it's a request 3288. It's a request for them to review your records. So, an example, and you have to have this every time somebody, let's say, for example, um, you want to go to your psychiatrist. Well, they have to have one on their file saying that you're authorizing her or him to look at your medical records, to look at certain your medical records, your mental health records, and anything pertinent to your medical file. Or you go see your primary care. Same thing. You have to have a 3288, okay, releasing that doctor from uh, uh, to be able to review your records. So, in other words, the purpose of the 3288 is for you to be able to control who sees your records, when they see your records, and you can actually decline. You should be able to decline who sees your records because the fact is that I mean it's kind of simple or easy to explain because the fact is I'll try to get funny here, but hope nobody takes offense. But what if you have explosive diarrhea? I don't want everybody who views my file to know that. Okay, it's kind of personal, and I don't really want you to know that. Or what if I have erectile dysfunction? Some guys are kind of kind of iffy about that. So in other words, there's some medical conditions that you don't want to have others see or to be public information whenever they open up your file. In this case scenario on the caregiver program, there were two different ways that people were cut. Number one was by a phone call. That's how I got cut. They did an assessment via the telephone. Number two was what you did a video interview because of COVID. They do interviews, videos now. Now, at no time, and I'll speak for all cases, at no time did they ever mention that they were doing an assessment to review your benefits for the caregiver program. At no time was this mentioned. They just asked you a series of questions. Now, these questions were totally targeted. Let me give you an example of how they were targeted and how the veteran got tripped up on this, or how they tripped the veteran up on this. One of my questions was, can you walk? I'm like, well, yeah, 2 or 3 steps. This is my answer. I said, yeah, well, 2 or 3 steps. I said, after that, it kind of gets iffy. I have my cane and I could fall out at any time. I have fallen in the past. That's why my caregiver's around. So if I fall, I get up. It's not a question of whether she can stop me from falling or not. It's just she can pick me up. But once you say yes to that question, oh yeah, you can walk. They don't take in the other parameters. They never see you. You're not there they're not there in person to see you walk. And it's like, okay, yeah, no, he can't walk. A perfect example of this for me was that I had to take a stress test because the burn pit exposure is starting to get to me. And I put a video out about Kabul that was finally recognized. But I had to have a stress test where, you get on the treadmill and you go. As soon as we walked in, my wife's like, my caregiver, she's like, this ain't going to work. You guys got to figure something else out. I'm like, oh, no, he can do it. He can do it. What? They don't even know who the heck I am. She said, it's not going to be good. So my caregiver, she went back to the back where I was going to end up anyway. She knew. And that nurse was on my left side, and they had a button, a red button to push. So they put me up there and they said, okay, we want you to run for 20 minutes. I said, okay. I took off running. And when I took off running, it wasn't good. I took about maybe 20 seconds. It took me before I couldn't keep up with the treadmill. My knees went out. I fell out. I passed out. And everything. Excuse me, I got to play with my dog. He won't leave me alone. Yeah, knock you in the head. But so that never got in my file that I fell down in the office. So then they gave me another stress test to where they did it with, and I'm kind of rambling on, but anyway, I passed out on that one too. But my point is that they don't look at those records. They look at specific things they look at specific things to deny you instead of why this benefits you. And this is the way these individuals went about this assessment. Basically, it went about how many people can we cut today, right now. There's money involved, probably so. But the issue is we'll probably never know why that they initiated this detrimental program. Anyway, getting back to this form, you have to actually sign this form before they're authorized to look at some of your medical records. Say, for example, if your psychiatrist wants to look at some of your medical records that pertain to something else besides it, they have to request, can I look at your medical records and see, can I? And you have to authorize this. I went over that before. Now, in this case scenario, the scenario that I just gave you, at no time did you sign a form to authorize this assessment. At no time did you authorize anyone on a board, a committee, or anything to look at your records. That's a violation of Hippa. It lets you know two things. Number one is that there's others looking at my file to give you an opportunity to explain or address those issues. Number two, to let you give you a heads up saying, okay, they're looking at my file. Do you have any questions? And also the fact is to make sure that you analyze and you analog everything that they actually going to ask, or all the questions. Okay, I can't walk. I can walk, but I can only walk 3 steps. Put that in the file. That wasn't done. So basically the whole process that the child caregiver, I keep saying that, I don't know. Anyway, that the caregiver process utilized is against the law. It's against HIPAA. I would hope that attorneys that you call or whatever would bring this up. I hope that Congress gets to hear there's more than one congressional. I know I filed a congressional complaint, our congressional investigation with my representative, Louis Gohmert. If you haven't done so, please do so, especially if you're receiving caregiver or if you're just concerned about the quality of care of veterans. It would behoove you to find out how they can do this, because if they get away with this one, they're going to get away with it on other benefits and other programs. I can't tell you enough what caregivers do. They don't understand what VA or what the veteran needs, and it's a broad scope. It depends upon your illness, depends upon your injuries, depends upon many things. But the main thing that a caregiver does is provide a link between you and that physician, because a veteran, pretty much carte blanche. We all, no matter what service we actually served under, we all have the same pretty much mentality. Is that, you know what, we got to suck it up throughout our boot camp, throughout going through training, whatever. We've always had a time to where suck it up, and if you didn't suck it up, you were weak, you were weak-minded, or whatever, and you did not want to ask for help. The VA and the military put forth back in 2007, 2008, whenever I started seeking help. They were asking you, please come forward. Please come forward. Let us see your injuries. Let's analyze your injuries and see if we can get you some help. Part of this program was the caregiver program. What do caregivers do? Well, mine does. Yours can do any amount of things, and they're all equally important. Mine makes sure I take my medication. I got to take medication morning and afternoon, at night. Mine makes sure that I eat, because I'll forget to eat. Mine makes sure that when I fall down, that I can get back up. Mine is there when I have a seizure. Mine is there when I take a shower, because I fall out of the shower. Well, you can take a tub bath. Well, I can't lift myself out of the tub bath. She knows everything about me during an emergency situation. Whenever an EMS provider actually comes and you've had a fall, they'll ask you what medications he's on. My caregiver goes like this, pulls out a laminated card. Here you go. His last visit, his blood pressure was this. His pulse ox was this. He suffers from this. He has PTSD. Don't piss him off. When he comes out of his seizure, he's going to be lost. Don't freaking beat the shit out of him. So it provides necessary information when the veteran cannot. And that is one of the, and also it goes a little further to where when you go to, this happens to me, when I go to my psychiatrist and I go in, she'll ask me a question like, well, how's it going? How's your mood? Things of this, whatever. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. Sucking it up again. Just, I'm fine. I'm good. Everything's fine. Everything's great or whatever. And my caregiver's like, no, he's not. No, he's not. And she names, no, because he's anxious about this. He's anxious about this. He's had this problem going on that's really messing sleep up. It's messing everything up. She tells him the truth. She tells him the truth, because I don't want to admit everything that's going on, or I may not notice yet. I have lived with this, with these disabilities for so long that they become regular for me. Falling down is regular for me. I mean, the only questions that I have now is when I fall and I carry my stick along to where I can get myself up. Or number two is if I go into a seizure. My main thing is, can I get up and can I come out of my seizure? The caregiver is there to issue me first aid, to give me CPR if I need it, and my dog still wants to play ball. Anyway, I'm trying to get distracted. If you won't leave me alone, go leave me alone, boy. So the thing about it is, yeah, that's my. He was supposed to be my PTSD dog, but it didn't happen. So there's a lot of things that everybody knows about a caregiver that you personally have or whatever, that they're just not understanding of how important that a caregiver is. It's not about the money. It's not about, because I will say this, that you cannot put a cost on a caregiver and how much that they do for a veteran. But you cannot also fathom the fact is how many of these caregivers out here have saved a life. We have 22 veterans who have killed themselves a day. VA says, "Oh no, it's not that many." Some say it's 17, some say it's 22. I don't care. Just one. And I'll go out on a limb and I'll tell you that the majority, if you ask their family what they were going through, or they ask them what they were going through, if they'll tell you the truth, it's VA related, because they can become sick and tired of having to fight the VA. And I'll be honest, I wrote a letter. I got a letter back from the Inspector General, Office of Inspector General, where I wrote a complaint. They wanted me to be more specific. Let me be. Let me just tell you this: I can no longer do it. I can no longer fight these battles inside my head. I can no longer motivate myself to get up in the morning and actually go on through the course of my day. It's more difficult for me to take that first step out of bed and put clothes on when it hurts. Every part of my body hurts, and I still got to fight this. It's all I can do. It's all I can do to actually deal with that. And now I'm going to the level to where, you know what? I I I have a PTSD moment when I go to my mailbox and I get something from the VA. It's fucking bad news. I don't want to get mail from the VA, because once everything's going good, I've got a steady regimen, and that's the basic thing that doctors want for you is get a steady regimen, getting used to dealing with your injuries, getting used to how to handle it, and be able to operate in the civilian life. That's all they want to is just have you on a steady keel. Could be, it's never going to be as good as it was when you were when you were out of the military, but they want to get you as close as they can. This cutting the caregiver program by 84% of the people. They cut 84% of caregivers. You can't tell me that it hasn't dawned on you in the back of your head by now how many more veterans are going to kill themselves, because they have no way of even getting close to what they once were, and they have no hope. This message goes out. If this message ever gets out and you say something, or if you hope you to retweet it, hopefully people will comment on it or whatever. But for me, it's a last ditch effort, because I'm telling you, I am at the cusp, because I cannot fight these battles inside my head. I still continue to fight the VA. I fought two enemies in my life. Fought the Taliban. I fought ISIS. I didn't kill Obama. I mean, I didn't kill Osama, but I chased his ass. I chased his ass a lot. But the biggest enemy I've ever fought against is the Veterans Administration and this caregiver program. The cutting of. This is it. It is so wrong, but it becomes the norm in the VA. So I don't know. And this is what I relate to the VA, to the OIG. You drop this shit on me. Now it's going to take me a period of time to get back, and I know the fight I'm going to have to fight, and it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly, because I have nobody else. I have no one here to help me do it. So now, caregiver program, I'm a veteran. I got two choices. Do I want to pick up the pieces and go on and go through what I've already been through and accomplished? Or do I just want to say, fuck it? And I hate to say that if kids are watching or whatever, and for you religious people or whatever, but everybody knows in every service, we're not all angels. We don't, but we're gonna at some point say, screw it. I quit. It ain't worth it. And this is where the VA has put us. This is where the caregiver program has put it, and they don't care. So, my next video is going to be on trying to contact lawyers. We've had a lot of people who have actually put out lawyers that will represent you in a civil case. Um, this class action lawsuit supposedly that's going on. We have a lot of lawyers that are advertising to take your case. I run into a problem. The fact is that they won't answer your phone calls. You can't sign up for the class action lawsuit. It's one bureaucracy after another. You can't get them to call you back. Um, or whatever. Even though that you're doing what they tell you to do, you call in, and that you get nowhere. So I'm going to do some research this week. I'm going to do research on who you can call, which which lawyers are taking calls, who. It'll be up to you who the best is or whatever. But right now, whoever answers the phone is good for me. And I will try to find out, how do you get involved in this class action lawsuit? How do you get your name on the list? Because as we know, this is on a list, and we may see some results 10 years from now. Me and you will be gone by the time we see results on this, and people start getting caregivers back again. But I do believe that if Congress does research this, and they research the Hippa laws and how this was done, the VA caregiver program, some people's heads needs to roll. This is causing a monumental stress factor and loss of life to veterans that they've done this to. And once a veteran's gone, you can never get him back. Me and a buddy were talking. I'm gonna end this real quick. Me and a buddy were talking about this, and we kind of go off each other. Like, well, I got this information, you get this information, because it's just too much. Who you talk to, who you don't talk to, whatever. Which links work, which links don't work. I go here, can't get on the page. It's just mind-boggling. Once again, I'm fighting this battle in my head. And we go back and forth and we talk about this or whatever. And we both come to the same conclusion. God damn, man, it ain't worth it. So you have to make a decision. I don't want to be a burden to my family. That's why that's why I got a caregiver. I don't want to be a burden to my family to where they have to take off work or whatever to come look after me, make sure I'm taking my meds, make sure I ain't burning the house down because I'm cooking. I forgot I left the stove. I don't want to be that way. I don't want them to have to come over and find me laying on the bathroom floor, and then somebody asks, "Well, how long you been here? What's to do?" But that's what we're having to deal with. And then you're going to have to deal with the situation of this: is that, what, is it worth it anymore? Maybe I'm better off, because the fact is that, what, it's only going to get worse from here. If you take a caregiver away from a veteran, I'm telling you, you're going to regret it. The numbers are going to pop up. Now all of a sudden 50 to 100 veterans are killing themselves every day, and you're wondering why. It's because of our VA system, the way it's screwed up, and the fact is you can't get anything done. It is like a government operation. Well, it is, but there's so much red tape. There is so much government involved in the VA that it's failed in taking care of veterans. And it will continue to fail until they start listening to veterans and stop trying to skirt the system, skirt the laws. Like I said, I'll contact lawyers. That's another battle we have to fight. Which lawyers will represent us? There's a question my buddy was asking me. I think I mentioned it, whatever. He's like, well, what do? I lawyer up? Should I lawyer up, to fight this battle? And how much is it going to cost me? Whether you guys realize it or not, us retired veterans and disabled veterans, we money don't grow on trees for us. We have to budget everything we do. And then throwing in a lawyer's fee on top of that, some people just can't do it. Can't afford to do it. Now, if you spend $10,000 on a lawyer and you lose, you're out $10,000 and you still don't get no help. Screw it. Every veteran at one time or another, especially combat veterans, I don't mean to exclude anybody, but every veteran at one time, combat veterans has thought about, screw the shit. I'm done. There's a thought through your head that's like, damn, I could end all this shit. Thought passes and goes, and you're like, ah, shit, no, you carry on, drive on, continue mission. Right now, veterans are like, it's cost effective for me to die. I don't burden anybody. I'm out of here. I don't have to fight these bastards anymore. Don't tell me it ain't going through your mind. So the purpose of this is to, yes, let's continue the fight. Let's continue the fight, see where it goes, and see what we can do. And let's have some ideas together. Hey, I contacted this lawyer. They said do this. They said do this. They said do this. And it's only going to happen if we do it together. Congress ain't going to help us. The VA ain't going to help us. Ain't nobody freaking listening except veterans. And there's more of us than there is of them. And we got to call a spade, and we got to let them know, no, not right, not today, not on this day. For those of you who are barely hanging on, I feel your pain, man. I feel your pain, and so do many other veterans. So we're back to that. We're back to that starting point again. The line of departure. Do we take off and fight this battle, or do we just say, "Fuck, they won. They finally won." That's your call. I hope and pray that people will actually. I hope and actually people will actually choose to actually try and fight this or take it. But I know that's not going to be the reason. I know that's not going to be enough for everybody. If you care for a vet, if you know a vet, if you know a vet who's going through this, if you know this system is going on and you don't, as a civilian, if you don't say something and start calling your congressman, you don't look into this issue, you don't understand it, but when you find out, you should pick up the phone. Because this is one of those gut check moments to where here's the deal. Remember after 9/11? 9/11 is like, you know what? On the 12th, we started seeing American flags. Let's go get them. Oh, all these patriotic, and some of us did. We took that shit serious, and we did. We went. Oh, y'all were playing. Yeah, go get some. Go get some. Thank you for your. Go get some. What are you? Hoorah, hoorah, hoorah. Where are you some bitches now when we come back? Thank you for your service. Why don't you thank me by picking up the phone and help taking care of me? After suffering those wounds that you were cheering me on to go get. Why don't you think about that and take responsibility for that? And realize when you start a war and you send people off to fight a war, you got to help them on the back end. If you don't, they're disposable. They're expendable. That's what veterans become. We're expendable. It's a damn shame. Any likes, comments, whatever, I appreciate it. If you want to hit me, please give me a message on here. I check this messages here. If you want me to email you back, or whatever, give me your email. I'll shoot you something back so we can continue the conversation. I only do 30 minutes. That's all I do because I don't want to, because I know they said if you don't catch somebody's attention in 20 minutes, nobody will pay attention. I'm a veteran. I'm used to not being paid attention to. You guys be good, be safe, be sorry. Don't do it, guys. Let's see if we can work this out somewhere and get some answers. Let's see that first. Maybe we'll get some support to help you get up in the morning. It should be nice right now, wouldn't it? I'm out. 75.